Hello and welcome back to Jules Math Tools. In our session today, we are solving two-step equations when the distributive property is involved. And if you're ready to see how this is done, let's get started. So in our equation today, we are solving to find out what is the value of our unknown variable q. And in this question, we are applying our rules for the distributive property. And we have a selection of videos that goes through the distributive property and how exactly these terms outside of our parentheses are distributed or multiplied to everything within the parentheses. So since 3 is the term that's being distributed, that means that 3 will be multiplied to q, and 3 will also be multiplied to 2. So let's begin that process first, and just in case we have some persons following along who is not familiar with the distributive property, I will go through that working at the side so that you will get an understanding of what is going to be happening or what is happening in the video. So 3 is distributed to q and 3 is also distributed to 2. That means that 3 is multiplied to q and then its product is added to 3 times 2. And 3 times q is equal to 3q, which is added to 3 times 2, which is equal to 6. So now we're going to plug our 3q plus 6 back into our equation. So we have 3q being added to 6, which is equal to 18. And remember that we're solving this two-step equation for our unknown variable q. So we're going to begin by collecting our like terms. So my 3q, remember that 6 and 18 are like terms, and 6 is positive here. So that means that when I move 6 to the other side of the equation where 18 is, it will become a minus. So 3q when 18 is minus 6 will equal to 12. And now we're going to apply our second one step, which means that we're going to now take our multiplication, which is 3q, and divide it by our 3. And remember that what you do to one side of the equation, you must do to the other. So now 3 divided into 3 will equal to 1, which will leave us with our q on the left hand side of our equation. And then we are dividing 3 into 12 on the right hand side. 3 divides into itself once. 3 will divide into 12 4 times, which means that my variable q will be equal to 4. So I always recommending checking your solution. And if you are able to check it, please do check. So if you solve your equation, you said that q is equal to 4, then that means that when you replace q in your equation with 4, it should make your equation make sense, meaning that both sides of the equation should equal to the exact same amount. Now I'm going to show you two ways that you can check your equation when working with the distributive property, and I did this in one of the earlier videos that I did with the distributive property, where I showed you how to distribute over your constants, and also you can use PEMDAS to check your solution. So I will show you how you can use both methods to check your answers. And remember that the more methods you know, it also works out to your benefit, because it will help you in the long run to be able to verify whether your answer is correct. So we're going to first check our solution using the distributive property, and then I will do PEMDAS afterwards. So 3 will be distributed to 4, and 3 will just be distributed to 2. So 3 times 4 is equal to 12. 3 times 2 is equal to 6, which is equal to 18. And we know that when 12 is added to 6, it's equal to 18. So we see that both sides of the equation equal to 18. So that method is using our distributive property. And like I said, I will also show you how you can use your rules for PEMDAS to also check this equation. So don't feel pressured that, hey, if I'm not good at the distributive property, that's the only way that I can check. Remember, there are multiple ways that you can check some of your equations and verify whether your answer is correct. PEMDAS tells us we need to work out our parentheses first. So we know that when 4 is added to 2, that will equal to 6. And when 3 is multiplied to 6, that will equal to 18. So again, we see that both sides of our equation is equal to 18, which tells us that our solution that we got, which is q is equal to 4, is indeed correct. Okay, so I hope this video really helped you with being able to solve a two-step equation when the distributive property is involved. Remember that this is only part 1. We have much more to go through to help you develop your skills. So if this video was very helpful to you, make sure that you click the like button and make sure that you stay tuned for more videos on how to apply the distributive property in two-step equations.